It's NaLyssa Smith, and I'm sorry, hashtag free her. 10 toes down, hashtag free her. Let her go.
After NaLyssa Smith was fired, Caitlyn Clark dropped a bombshell. To be honest, this may be one of the most satisfying decisions in WNBA history. The Indiana Fever lost 2 straight games, and who do we have to thank for that? Yes, it's none other than the one and only NaLyssa Smith, a player so conceited that she makes a black hole appear modest. She's like that one toxic fish ruining the entire pond, except she's out here destroying an entire basketball team instead.
You've got one of the laziest defenders.
Smith played just for herself. She had no idea of cooperation, no desire to pass the ball to someone more open, and she viewed every possession as her chance to be the lone hero, which was pitiful given her frequent me-first antics.
Everything was anti-NaLyssa Smith. She was like, we want players that will fit in seamlessly with our core 3, which includes Kelsey Mitchell. We want players to fit in seamlessly with the core 3. We want players that will play a role and will embrace their role. And we want players that will fit in with the culture and the team.
She caused the Fever's performance to plummet, and to be honest, it's about time someone put an end to it. They were like a car collision in slow motion.
That second quarter, but being able to get in there and go right back to the paint, I think was a real smart move for Christy Sides group.
Smith is still slow to get up, now making her way back over here to...
The Indiana Fever have officially thrown NaLyssa Smith out, and it was long overdue. Her WNBA career, which had been hailed as a star-studded affair, swiftly collapsed into a complete catastrophe. Remember the buildup? When Smith was selected with the 2nd overall pick in the 2022 WNBA draft, everyone was gushing about her as the team's future cornerstone. However, when she went on to have terrible seasons, it was all disappointment and broken hopes.
Like, every time NaLyssa Smith goes on like an individual run, even if the team's not playing well, Dejanay tweets something positive about NaLyssa. About like, oh, it's great when she gets a chance. And then like, I can't remember what game it was, like, she did well statistically.
Let's discuss the numbers, shall we? In her 2nd season, Smith's game took a nosedive. I mean, it crashed harder than a malfunctioning roller coaster. Her shooting accuracy, points per game, and defensive statistics didn't just drop, they collapsed. It seemed as though she had forgotten how to play basketball. The Indiana Fever actually had a better defense when she was riding the pine. You read that correctly. Her absence helped the team. Can you imagine being so bad at defense that your coach, it seems as though Bree couldn't defend a traffic cone, much less a player at the WNBA level, so it's a comfort to be on the bench.
The team wasn't playing well when she was cooking. She got taken off. I think they won the game. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, she quote tweeted Dejanay's tweet being like, it was fun while it lasted. And I'm like, man, like, you are statistically the worst player.
And let's not even discuss the selfish way of playing when Caitlyn Clark was working tirelessly to lead the squad to victory. Even when Clark and his teammates stood wide open waving like inflatable tube men in a car dealership, Groove Smith was too busy playing hero ball to notice those offensive possessions. It was like watching a one-woman wrecking crew in action, except that the only thing being destroyed was the Fever's chance at a decent game. Selfish drives into double coverage bricks from deep that had no business being taken. It was so agonizing to watch Smith insist on forcing up a shot that you would almost assume she was trying out to be the most annoying player in the NBA.
We talked about defense, needing people for defense, and when you can't really talk about the culture when you've got one of the laziest defenders.
But wait, it gets even crazy.
However, this is where the locker room becomes unsightly. The entire squad was at a low point when Caitlyn Clark was poked in the eye during a game. So what did Smith do? He consoled her and showed support, but nope, while the rest of the team came together to support her. Smith took it as an opportunity to crack jokes at Clark's expense. NaLyssa, imagine giving it your all for the team like Clark does when your teammate is down, only to have your supposed teammate use your suffering as a joke.
She has less value to the Fever and Grace Berger and more value to her.
It was utterly pitiful in addition to being disrespectful. That brief incident wasn't just cringeworthy, it was outright treachery, and the team's confidence was destroyed, morale plummeted, and Clark, who gives her all in every game, deserved much better. It sent a clear message. The team's morale collapsed because Smith was all about him, and I don't blame them. Previous head coach Christy Sides should get a standing ovation for handling Smith's drama. She did everything she could to keep the team together, but how can you lead a group when one of its supposed leaders is too preoccupied with having a tantrum on the court? When the Fever finally strikes their coach, Smith's self-centered behavior prevented them from implementing any plan that didn't entail hoping for a miracle. Smith's antics fingerprints were all over that choice. It was clear that Smith's ego had drove the team into a wall by the time the Fever subsided, and his refusal to change or even try to fit into a team-first mindset was what finally destroyed Sid's efforts. The new head coach, Stephanie White, is not amenable to self-centered bullshit. White outlined the rules from the beginning, emphasizing teamwork, hustle, and eliminating poisonous behavior like a bad habit. Can you guess who didn't meet that description? NaLyssa Smith. White is assembling a group of athletes who sacrifice for victories and set aside their egos. Smith's lax defense was just the contrary. Lack of camaraderie and total disrespect for White's winning cultural concept. Smith wants athletes who can embrace their responsibilities, as if she was determined to prove she was more trouble than she was worth. White's mission was discipline, teamwork, and eliminating harmful distractions. She wasn't here to pamper anyone. Naturally, Smith didn't fit that vision because of her selfishness, which clashed so strongly with White's culture of unity that it was like watching a wrecking ball collide with a brick wall. White wants players who will sacrifice for the greater good, not divas who believe they are God's gift to basketball, like when she occasionally takes off looking like she's going to yam it from outside the key. Let's now discuss the off-court drama that Smith seemed to treat as her second career. Her family went completely crazy. They used social media as their own battlefield, attacking everyone and starting arguments with fans, disparaging the coaching staff, and hurling insults like it was their full-time job. Every time the Fever attempted to concentrate on, say, basketball, Smith's family would start another social media fire. The company had to have been the never-ending internet warfare. Toxic team morale is being constantly extinguished by perpetual damage control, causing distractions that no professional franchise should ever have to cope with.
She wants players that can embrace their roles.
Smith truly made her own grave here. She knew that her reputation was being damaged by her family's social media circus, but she did nothing about it. Instead, she remained connected to her Twitter-happy relatives, allowing them to make fun of her job. As she witnessed the unending mayhem, her comrades lost all respect for her, and it became painfully clear. In a society where professional accountability is crucial, Smith's inability or unwillingness to confront the poisonous behavior of her family is a huge red flag. She destroyed the team's chemistry in addition to harming her own reputation. I have a tattoo on the side that reads, "Family Forever" in Chinese, and it's a family tattoo where everyone gets in. My brother got it first, and I decided to get one too, and my parents will get it too, so it will be a tattoo that's like within the family. Let's compare that hot mess with Caitlyn Clark, the rising star, who was out here while Smith was struggling on and off the court. Changing the course of history, this woman is more than just decent. She is revolutionary. Clark, the all-time top scorer in college basketball and currently the key player for the Fever, has the numbers, the abilities, and, above all, the selflessness that improves everyone around her. We are discussing a guy who, in must-win games, scores more than 30 points without taking center stage. With each play, every pass, and every possession, Clark improves her squad.
Like sometimes when she takes off looking like she's going to yam it from outside the key.
While Smith was out there playing solo ball contested fadeaways, stupid drives straight into defenders, and shots that had no business being taken, Clark distributed the ball and set up her teammates for success. It seemed like Smith was running a one-woman highlight reel, and even when her teammates were practically waving neon signs pleading for the ball, her foolish decisions cost the Fever games, but she didn't seem to care.
Brother caused a lot of drama on social media. And the problem is, if your family and the people you're going home to have Twitter fingers and you're hearing, you can't get away from it. Like, for all of these other players, they can just delete the Twitter app on their phone and they don't really see anything.
Smith may wind up as a cautionary tale, bouncing around lower leagues, or trapped playing abroad, where she can take all the foolish risks she wants. But if she wants to make a WNBA comeback, she will need to drastically change her mindset. This is a reminder of reality. Statchasers and drama queens are not rewarded by the WNBA. Smith had the ability to be something unique to turn this franchise around, but instead she decided to be a walking, talking warning, a masterclass in how to waste potential good riddance. If she doesn't mature quickly, she may end up on the outside looking in as her former teammates succeed while her own career fades into obscurity. I hope the rest of the league notices that NaLyssa and the Fever are better off without the distraction.
Mitchell, Caitlyn Clark, and Aaliyah Boston is the opposite of what NaLyssa Smith is. Like, NaLyssa Smith is not a player that can fit in. She has to fit out. Like, she has to be one of the first 2 or 3. Like, she doesn't have to be a number 1 option, but like, she can't be